Hey, welcome to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I'm coming at you with another review. This is Wonder Woman Evolution, issue number 1 from DC Comics. It's written by Stephanie Phillips, and then we got art by Mike Hawthorne and Adreno D. Benedito. Then we got a colorist by Jordi Belair, and we got letters by Tom Napolito. Um, it's a brand new Wonder Woman story. Um, I don't think this main continuity is just seen as like a side story. I mean, you could say it's main continuity, but where does it fit in, kind of thing. It doesn't really state all that. It's following Wonder Woman, and it has some of the base characters involved in the story. But the whole thing is set up around evolution, hence the name Wonder Woman Evolution. Um, Before we get into like my main review, at the very end of the issue, I'll show you some of the art after my story explanation. Um, but back into the evolution, there's an ongoing thread as the comic starts about humans evolution and this and that. It does show a couple panels of like Wonder Woman in a new costume fighting some enemies that I'm not aware I've never seen before. They kind of look like big versions of orcs or something like that. Um, but it kind of shows her like um, kind of really tired and beat down, and she it still looks like she's winning, but you can tell this is like maybe midway through a battle or something like that. And then the issue kind of jumps forward like in the main story, and it's like a museum. Black Swan, a villain, is currently has the museum like under a hostage type situation where she's holding all these like children as ransom, calling out Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman does show up. She tries talking Vanessa, the Silver Swan, down, from her like villainous, type of a situation thing. Um, and it doesn't ultimately work. Basically, the Silver Swan, she keeps stating about evolution, how like every time she fought Wonder Woman, she would fail, and Wonder Woman would win, and basically she would end up in jail. And the last time, she let Diana help her out. She did end up in jail, and then Diana was visiting her for a while, and then she stopped visiting. Eventually, that led her to go back to her Silver Swan persona, basically stating that it's like time to evolve, kind of thing, back to the evolution thing. There is a fight eventually. Silver Swan, she gets encased in like these nanite like technology where she's fully shielded up, but she does grab a child and she takes him up, flies her into the air, and basically makes Diana choose whether to follow and take out the Silver Swan or to save the falling to the death child. Of course, Wonder Woman chooses the child. They cut over to a scene where after Diana does save the child and rescues everybody else, they cut over to a scene, basically on some Alps in Antarctica or something like that, with Wonder Woman and Superman, and they're having this conversation, and Diana's telling her about what happened at the museum and this and that, and Superman's kind of basically telling her, well, what did you expect? We all know you would have saved the child from the get-go, and she's like, yeah, that's kind of why I'm bringing it up, and the whole like evolution talk and this and that. He goes into the speech about like why he brings her up there to these mountains, and how like because of passion, humans and this and that, and their strive to conquer some of the unconquerable things that we have encountered here on Earth. That's kind of his passion, into protecting humans and this and that. He kind of states like just because they have powers and they can do these incredible feats, they still have amazing responsibilities that only they have, kind of things like saving the world, fighting supervillains, that kind of stuff. Um, but um, basically after that they go on this race, and they start off this race, and it's just simple, no wagers or nothing, and eventually Superman gets called away to go save a tsunami or something like that. And he jumps off saying that, I hope, Wonder Woman feels better, this and that, and he's going to go off on his way. And Wonder Woman offers to help, and of course Superman can kind of do it on his own, and he states so in a nice fashion, and this and that. Wonder Woman goes on her way, and as soon as she starts going on her way, she kind of like takes a moment to relax, and when she's like all of a sudden she starts seeing electricity like encasing her body. She doesn't understand why, and all of a sudden she is like teleported like somewhere, and she doesn't understand how, why, when, or where. And that's basically where this issue leaves off at, is as she's basically torn from where she is and taken somewhere else, and kind of like leading up to that future scene they show in the very beginning of the issue. At the end of the comic, there is like a monologue going on about the evolution, basically stating that humans have advanced and this and that, especially with the heroes and the superheroes type thing. And now it's time to evaluate them to see if their evolution is worthy, or if it's time for them to be expunged, kind of thing. And that's where this issue leaves off. I will show you some of the art, and I will let you go on your way. Okay. Let me get my camera to focus. Sometimes it does it good. You can hear my co-host. These are the very first scenes they show us, the future scene. As you can see, she is kind of worn out right there, but that's the only other scene they show us, just fighting these aliens. And then the comic, kind of jumps forward to, the Silver Swan, I think is her name. And if that's not her name, I don't know. I'm bad with name, guys. Just flipping through, showing you some of the art. The art was very good. I wouldn't say it was like amazing or whatever, but it was. I can say for me, the faces, there was this weird shading going on with the faces that kind of gave them different looks. But overall, nonetheless, it was a really good read and a really good start to a new series. Especially if you don't know Wonder Woman, it was a pretty good read to get started. But that was pretty much it. Alright guys, I will see y'all later. Bye!